never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer.
Shalom, shalom, family and friends. We are back. We are back once again on Inspirational Thoughts on this beautiful, on this auspicious day. Indeed, this day is special because we are in it. This day is auspicious because we have been blessed with life. We have been blessed with opportunity. May we utilize this blessing, this opportunity. May we give God the glory, give God the praise, because this moment that we are experiencing is not by accident, but rather it is due to divine intervention. Yah has been good to every one of us, and therefore let us say thank you. Thank you, God, for this wonderful opportunity. Please give us the strength to cope. Please give us the strength to keep pressing forward, because we cannot do it by ourselves. Welcome, welcome to Inspirational Thoughts. I am Dexter Honore. And don't forget, Inspirational Thoughts, it is a program that is designed to convert thoughts into words with the intent to motivate and inspire each and every one of us to do better and to be better. And let me tell you this, I am one who believes that we can do better and we can be better. And it requires three things. Number one, it requires that we put in the effort. We have to dispense some energy. Rome was built, but it wasn't built overnight. Effort was made. Number two, association. Who you associate yourselves with is important, right? There is an old saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You are the sum of the people that you spend the most time with, right? You are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. And number three, you ought to feed on the right things. As a matter of fact, they said we are what we eat, right? But I also want to put this into the picture. We are what we eat, well, what we take in to our minds that penetrates our systems, that usually defines who we are. So we have to put in effort, we have to associate ourselves with the right people, and we have to feed on the right things. This morning, I'm glad that you're with me this morning. We are going to look at agreement number 4. And I think I have number 3 there. Let me just change this quickly. We are going to look at agreement number 4. And agreement number 4, basically what it does, it supports and encourages the other agreements, right? And just to keep you up to speed, we are looking at the 4 agreements. It's a book that was written by Miguel Ruzzi. You can check it out online. It is very easy to find. You can check it out and most definitely give it a read. I can guarantee you it will be beneficial to you. The first agreement that we looked at is be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable with your words. In other words, we have to learn to use our words to build up. We have to use our words to strengthen, and not just others, but we have to use our words to strengthen ourselves, right? And being impeccable with your words is not using your words against you. The second agreement that we looked at is don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. And a lot of us, we find ourselves taking things personally, and it affects us, right? It destroys us slowly, like gangrene. And number 3, we learned that we should not make assumptions. We spent 2 sessions doing that, and I really hope and pray that we would have been inspired to make those adjustments, make those changes, because taking things personally is going to affect us personally, right? Making assumptions, it is going to destroy us because our assumptions are not always correct. It is better. And last 2 days ago, we looked at how to stop making assumptions. And we have to find the courage, we have to find the gumption to ask questions and get the answers rather than coming to conclusions in our minds. Marriages, relationships have been tethered apart or teared apart because of assumption that's taking place. And sometimes we think that our assumption are 100%, and we cause a real problem, real stress in our lives, in our marriage, right? And this morning we're going to look at always do your best. Always do your best. If you want to know how to do your best, I want to encourage you to stay tuned, because I want to share some thoughts that will, I hope, inspire us and move us in some way or another, right? But before we do so, I would just like to highlight that yesterday we weren't able to come on. I wasn't able to be with you yesterday morning because I had some errands to run early, and I thought that I would have been back on time, right? But it took me longer than expected. I was probably back home by 9 o'clock, and by that time it is already too late. So I do apologize for that, and I do hope and pray that you had a wonderful day yesterday. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Don't forget, you can send in your comments, questions, whatever you may have, whatever contribution that you may have to make this better. I am all ears, right? I'm all ears. And I would also like to give a shout out to a few people. Um, Sister Ponciana Bruno, I want to say good morning to you, all the way from England. I believe that's where you are. I want to say good morning to you. There is a sister from Aruba who is always on, or sometimes if she's not on, she views the program later on. I want to say good morning to her as well, and I'm just trying to verify her name, Sister Sira Kelly. Good morning, good morning. D Rope, D Rope always tuned in. Most of the time he comes on after, and uh, and I would just want to say good morning to you. Tunes Life, my brother from another mother, is always on. I want to thank you for the support, and most of the time you share the program. I really do appreciate that. Giselle Honore, of course. Um, she sometimes is occupied, but she takes a little time to come in. Um, Walsh, how can I forget Walsh? And I mean, almost every program this brother shares this. D Block Walsh, D Block Walsh, always share that program. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. There are so many others, but the thing about it is that those of you who may be tuned in, if you do not send a comment, if you do not share, if you do not like, then I won't be aware of who you are and where you are. Patricia, Sister Patricia, good morning to you as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So let's get down into business. I've said enough. It's already 21 past already, and the time flies by so quickly, right? But we have to do this. We have to do this. The four agreements: always do your best under any circumstances. Always do your best, no matter, no more, no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. If everything is alive and changing all the time, your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be so good. And if we're going to do our best, it is essential for us to understand that our best will not always be at the same level or the same quality, right? Keep that in mind, right? Because when we think about doing our best, we are thinking about giving 100% every single time, and our perspective of 100% is when we are doing well, right? When we are doing well. But that's not the case. I want to help transform the way that we think when it regards to doing our best, right? Under any circumstances. Always remember that everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired, right? When you go to bed tired and then you wake up tired, right? Your best is going to be different. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to when you are sick. And that's a fact. There are some times you are healthy, your best, you'll have more energy. But there are times you may be sick. And during that time, you do not have the same energy as you did when you were healthy. But here's the thing is, Whether we are healthy or whether we're sick, we give our best. So when we are sick, our best will not be the same like when we are healthy. And we have to keep in that. Or sober as opposed to being drunk. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy or upset, angry, or jealous. Right? These are some of the things that affects the level of your best, right? In your everyday mood, your best can change from one moment to another. And that's one of the things you have to understand. Sometimes we may get up feeling vibrant and feeling good, 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 and something may just alter our day, and then our best will definitely drop. But even at that moment, our best should be our best. We need to do our best, right? Because sometimes you get up feeling real good, and you're feeling healthy and everything, and then you get some sad news that a very good friend passed away, a family member passed away, and that changes and plays with your emotions to the point that you're feeling sad. But even at that moment, you still need to do your best, right? In your everyday mood, your best can change from one moment to another, from 1 hour to the next, from one day to another. Your best will also change over time as you build a habit of the four agreements. Your best will become better than it used to be. We are speaking about growth, we are speaking about development, we are speaking about creating habits that will be beneficial to us in the future, right? And that is the habit of being impeccable with our words, the habit of not taking things personally, the habit of not making assumptions, and the habit of always doing your best. Always do your best. That is the encouragement for this morning. Always do your best. I want to say good morning to Sister Silda out there on the island of Bonaire, the beautiful sunny island of Bonaire. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And should I say it in bon dia, mi rumanan. Come by, come by, come by. So we're talking about doing your best, regardless, regardless of the quality, right? Think about it again, and I want to say it again. Regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more, no less than your best. If you try too hard, and I want for us to listen at this moment, listen, because one might think that when I speak, or when we speak of doing your best, we are talking about giving 110%, 120%. No, I am not talking about over exerting yourself. And I want to get this clear. I'm not talking about overworking yourself, because one of the things that I have learned is that we are all replaceable. We are all replaceable, right? You're a preacher. Take for example, you're a preacher. You spend your time visiting. You're making sure everybody is doing okay, but at the same time, your family is not doing so well, right? You sacrifice a lot of time. You probably don't have time to eat, right? To go out and do different things. You end up passing away. Guess what? You will be replaced. Your position will be replaced. Another preacher will come and take over. Hmm? You might be on the job and you overworking yourself. You're not making any time for family, right? You go to work, you start work at 8 o'clock, right? But you're there by 7. You're supposed to finish at 4, but you finish at 9 in the night. And then you keep doing that over and over again, and your body, you're not getting that rest, and you fall sick. And even before your death, right? Somebody replace you temporarily. Sometimes we think that, yeah, what? It's like we're not replaceable. Folks, I need so somebody to hear this and get this. We're not, we are all replaceable. We are all replaceable. So it doesn't matter what job you are. Don't ever think that you're the only one that can do it. Someone else will come after you and they'll train that person, and that person might even do it better than you. So we have to make time for self. We have to make time for family. So when I'm talking about always do your best, I'm not talking about overextending it. We're not talking about that, right? And I'm going to make a statement. If you try too hard to do more than your best, because sometimes that's what we do. We strive to do more than our best. So instead of giving 100%, we want to give 110%, 120%, 130%, and sometimes probably some people give more, right? If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed. And in the end, your best will not be enough. Disappointments is going to come when we over exert ourselves. We do more than our best, and then when we do not accomplish something, then guess what happens? We think that we our best just wasn't good enough, right? That's the shift of mindset that attitudes like that create. So if we try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed, and in the end your best will never be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. And folks, this is something that we have to understand. We go against ourselves when we overexert ourselves. Because if your body is designed to work X amount of hours, but you working 2 3 hours afterwards, then you're causing yourself real problems, and then you're working against your body. You're working against your body. Now, my camera is giving me a little stress again. I don't know why this thing does that. Does that. The time, let us just read a comment from um, S. Woods this morning. Good morning to everyone. Always like to be tuned in. I love the 4 agreements. Very informative, Brother Dex. Thank you, sis. I'm glad that something is being said that will truly encourage you, and not only you, but encourage us. Because at the end of the day, we need to realize that we make agreements every day with ourselves, right? We make agreements every single day with ourselves. So why not commit to making some agreements that will bring betterment to us? And I think I'm gonna leave the camera off for a bit, because it seems like it makes no sense. Let me just get a let's see what happens there. Yes, let's leave this up for the time being. So you're still able to hear me, but you're not able to see me, right? So we're talking about the 4 agreements, right? And the final agreement that we're looking at is always do your best. Always do your best, right? Listen, and when you do your best, right? You don't overexert yourself. When you don't work against yourself, right? Because working extra and prolonging and excessive working, that is working against your body. Because what happens is that your body is going to become weak. That is why we require rest, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goals. That is when you're working against your body. So you have a goal to attain, right? Do your best in getting the work done, but don't overexert yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, you're working against your body. Your body get weakens, and as a result, you're unable to finish. You're unable to finish the product, and disappointment comes, right? And then you feel like you're not good enough. But if you do less than your best, right? So we're talking about more. We talk about more than your best, right? Let's look at less than your best. If you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustration, self doubt, or self judgment, guilt, and regret. Just do your best. Don't try to overdo it, and don't go below. Just do your best in any circumstances in your life or circumstance in your life. It doesn't matter if you are sick or tired. If you always do your best, there is no way you can judge yourself, because you did your best. And if you don't judge yourself, there is no way you are going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. Always do your best, folks. There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering. So he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend? The master looked at him and said, if you meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. Thinking he could do better, the man said, oh, master, what if I meditate 8 hours a day? How long will it take me to transcend? The master looked at him and said, if you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 20 years. But why will it take me longer if I meditate more? The man asked. The master replied, you are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but you spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired, miss the point, and you won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy. Doing your best, doing your best, you are going to live your life instantly. You're going to enjoy your life. You're going to have more joy and peace in your life because you're not overdoing it and you're not underdoing it. You're doing your best in every circumstance or every situation in life. You're going to be productive. You're going to be good to yourself because you will be giving yourself to your family, your community, to everything. But it is the action that is going to make you feel instantly happy. When you always do your best, you take actions. You take actions. Action, your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you are expecting a reward. Most people do exactly the opposite, right? They do exactly the opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward and they don't enjoy the action. And that's the reason why they don't do their best. Folks, we ought to do our best under any circumstance and every circumstance. For example, most people go to work every day just thinking about payday, and the money they will get from the work they are doing. They can hardly wait for Friday or Saturday. Whatever day they receive their money and can take that time off, they are working for the reward. And as a result, they resist work. They try to avoid the action, and it becomes more difficult, and they don't do their best. They work so hard all week long, suffering, stifling the work, suffering the actions, not because they like to, but because they feel they have to. They have to work because they have to pay the rent, because they have to support their family. They have all that frustration. And when they do receive their money, they are unhappy. They have they have 2 days to rest and to do what they want to do. And what do? They try to escape. They get drunk because they don't like themselves. They don't like their life. There are many ways that we hurt ourselves when we don't like who we are. Folks, this is real, talking about real circumstances, things that people go through on a daily basis. And then we use the work as an example, as an illustration. Many people, what motivates them is the money. The money, that is their motivator. And because money is their motivator, When it comes to going to work, they do it just because, and they're waiting for the payday. And sometimes when the payday come, it is never enough, and that leads to frustration. But if we have a different mindset, and whatever we put our hands to do, whatever we decide to do, we do our best, then we're not just doing it for the reward. We're doing it because we want to excel in whatever we do. And it's people with these mentalities, these are the people that are being promoted. And sometimes there are others who sit and their productivity is low because their heart is not in it. They're not giving it their all. They're not giving it their best. They're not giving it their best. Sometimes they procrastinate, they wait, right? And last minute they try to finish the project, and by the time they realize it, there is insufficient time to do it. What do you have? A failure. And the next man is putting his time, his effort into it. He's giving it his best, and that man is promoted. And the next man who is sitting there, angry with himself, jealousy start to take over him. And it's not because of the other man. It is because of him. Because sometimes we try to blame other people. But the problem is with us. The problem is if me. And if I want a better lifestyle, if I want to be better, right? I have to seek to be impeccable with my words. I have to seek to not take things personally. I should not just rush to conclusions or assumptions. I should not make assumptions. And number four, everything that I do, I need to give it my all. I need to give it my best. I need to give it my best. And let me tell you this: we are not. Worship is not exempted. Worship is not exempted. We're not living out worship. We're not living out praising God, right? We're not living that out. When it comes to praising and worshiping God or Yahweh, we have to do our best. We have to do our best. And the same principle applies. We should not try to go over or not go beyond. Because what below? Because what happens when we go over? We burn out ourselves. We burn out ourselves. And I have to pause for a little while on that. Because I'm saying this, and it just dawned on me that I used to do the very same thing too. Because sometimes we think that, when it comes to worshiping God, God requires us to overwork ourselves. No, no, no. All God wants is just honesty of worship, honesty of praise. He just wants us to give Him our all, give Him the best that we have. Because let me tell you this: when you are sick, you cannot sing the same way than as opposed to when you're healthy. But what God wants is for us to be able to worship Him and give Him the praise under every circumstance. So when we are healthy and we are strong, we know that our praise can be greater, our voice can be louder. But when we are sick and we are feeling down, our praise will not be as loud, but God still wants our praise even in that moment. So when we are feeling down and we are sick, we praise God with our all. We give Him our best because that's what we can do at that time. And when we get better, then we can shout hallelujah. We can magnify His name with a different energy. You see the energy I have today? And you hear the excitement in my voice. There are days when my voice will not be that loud or will not be that vibrant. There are days when I may be sick and my voice might be a little lower. But even at that moment, I need to understand that I need to give my best. I need to do my best. And that's the type of mindset I want for us to develop. That mindset of doing our best. Do your best under every circumstance. And don't just think about the reward. Think about the process. Think about how you are giving your best. And the thing about it is, we have to take actions. We have to take action. I want to read something to you before we close off this morning. When you do your best and learn to accept yourself. But you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means practice. Look honestly at the results and keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you enjoy whatever you are doing. You know you are doing your best when you are enjoying the action and doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. No, no, I have to read this again. I have to say this again because I want for us to get it. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you are enjoying every moment of or whatever you are doing. And let me tell you this. We can apply that to all our facets of our lives, every part of our lives, especially when it comes to our praising God. Here's the question I have to us this morning. When it comes to worshiping Yahweh, do you feel like it is a work? Do you enjoy it? Because I have seen and I've experienced where people put a limit to praising God. They put a limit, and when we reach that limit, they start getting frustrated, and the worship they can no longer worship God. Can no longer worship Yahweh. Why? Because that limit was set. And when they get to that point, everything shut down. And because they're worshiping God with a particular intention in mind. And as a result, they think of the time. They think of the time. And let's take, for instance, we are supposed to end by 12 or by 1 p.m. on a Sunday morning. And that individual sitting there, that individual realizes it is 10 past 1. It is 15 past 1. Let me tell you, some easiness going to start coming to the picture. And their attention is no longer there because their mind is on something else. Their mind isn't fully on worshiping God. Some people, based on the song leader that is leading songs, guess what happens? They don't sing along because their expectation is something else. They have different expectations. But if it's a particular song leader, they're all into it. And let me tell you something, with that kind of mindset, the primary objective is to worship is not about God. Because if our primary objective is to worship Yahweh through his son, Jesus the Christ, or Yahshua, then it matters not who is up there. We're going to give our best. So the song leader may not be the best song leader, but we are doing our best along with him. And we're giving God praise and we're enjoying it. And when we're enjoying it, let me tell you something. Time is not going to be a problem. Just imagine. Let me just give you a real life scenario. Last night, we were having Bible study last night, and we are studying the book of Colossians, and if you would like to join us for that study, most definitely you can visit our Facebook page, Iglesia de Cristo. And visit our Facebook page. I think the link to our Zoom is right there. You can tune in. We start at 6 o'clock. So we are dealing with the book of Colossians, right? And for the past 2 weeks, we have only looked at the first 3 verses, right? And last night we were supposed to stop at 7. And when I looked at the time, we were 10 minutes past 7. And let me tell you something, brothers, friends, and those who are listening right now. The brethren did not even realize the time. I was the one who told them that we have gone beyond our time, the time that we have set to be there. Because we were all engaged in having a discussion and learning. And there you could have felt that love. Could have felt that desire to study the word of God and to learn. The brethren were enjoying the session. And they were not just doing it for doing its sake. And sometimes we get engaged in routinely worshiping God, and then we fail to worship him in spirit and in truth. We fail to worship him in spirit and in truth. So we have to apply this. Do your best. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you are enjoying whatever you're doing. You know you're doing your best when you are enjoying the actions. That is how we're going to know. So if you're worshiping God, if you're enjoying it, if you're enjoying it and the enjoyment is not based on the preacher, the enjoyment is not based on the song leader, but the enjoyment is in truly giving God praise, then you know you're giving it your best. You are giving it your best. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. Mentality again. Not because you're trying to please the judge, not because you're trying to please other people. And we have to take that into consideration. If you take action because you have to, then there is no way you're not going to do your best. Then it is better not to do it. Huh? If you know you're not going to do your best, if you know your heart is not into it, sometimes it's better you just don't do it. It's better that you just don't do it. Folks, it is already 10 to. Wow, the time flies by very quickly. I still have a few other points that I want to share, and it relates to always do your best. And if the Lord's will, we will definitely um, continue next, not next week's rather, tomorrow. Today's Thursday, so we will use Friday morning to continue looking at the subject. Always do your best. Folks, I really hope and pray. I'm sorry that you cannot see me this morning, but camera is giving a little stress. But thank you for listening. And I hope and pray that something was said that will encourage you to always do your best. And remember, you're not doing it for people. You're not doing it for people. You're doing it for yourself and you're doing it for God, especially when it comes to worship, when it comes to praising God. And when it comes to praising God, let may it not be something we do to impress. I can do this, I can do that. We have to take out the I in worship. I mean, sometimes we call too much attention to ourselves, and I think that's the way I should have said it. It's like a competition, but it should not be. Just imagine, folks, if every one of us comes to worship, or we go to worship, and we all do our best. Imagine what it's going to sound like. But I have to go. It's already 9 minutes to. It's already 9 minutes to. And of course, I want to say good morning to Brother Jeremiah out there in England, Brother Jeremiah. And of course, I would like to extend a happy birthday to Shanna Robin, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. I want to say happy belated birthday to you. And I trust that you would have had a wonderful day yesterday. Big up, my brother. Stay connected and stay focused on your goals. And always, always do your best. Until tomorrow, Lord willing, shalom, shalom, grace and peace be always unto each and every one of you. And as you continue throughout this day, remember, always do your best. And your best will vary from time to time, from day to day, from circumstances to circumstances. But whatever circumstances you are under right now, it could be health, always do your best. Always do your best. I see Bernadine S. Wood said, so true and on point. So true and on point. I really am thankful for the opportunity to share with you today. Tune in tomorrow morning and we will continue because this subject is important. Always do your best. You know this, I don't want to go. You know this, I don't want to go, right? But I have to. So we will definitely reconnect tomorrow morning, Lord willing. Until next time, I bid you Godspeed again. Shalom, shalom in Jesus the Christ.
Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do,